Welcome in. It's about to get dark. Welcome into Midstate 48 presented by Miracle Auto Group. We're here getting ready for week number 11. Scott can't stop laughing. Joe's fighting his cats, and Cam is just being Cam, guys. Good evening, everybody.
That was a spooky opening.
I could have done better, but I wanted to save that for
save that for
Halloween.
Right. Ichabod Crane over here.
Hey, we're going dark mode tonight, y'all. Yeah. So here we are, sitting here week 11. Games on Thursday and Friday night. We've been talking about this week all year long, and it's finally here with a lot of playoff implications, region titles at stake, who's in, who's out. A lot of that's every piece of that is getting answered in some way, shape, or form this week. So a loaded who you got segment where we've got not 10 but 20 games to pick. Twice the fun here in this final week of the regular season. So I'm going to do the show a little bit differently tonight with some apologies to begin the show.
Wow.
And because I was the idiot that picked against CPA and apologized in person, I'm going to go first with mine. So enjoy.
Bruce, man.
Yeah. All you guys an apology.
Yes, sir.
Man, I wasn't sure about it this week, to be honest with you. Went with the unbeaten team, the number one team in the state, but the second half, y'all proved me wrong. The defense was outstanding, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to pick against y'all again. Y'all are my state pick in the beginning of the year anyway, so and more Lions out tonight too. So I guess
Secret fan.
Maybe there you go.
Secret fan, right here.
There you go. So congratulations.
Yes,
I played an awesome game.
Thank
well
you.
done.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'm getting too good at these.
Well, he took that like a champ.
Oh, he did. Cruz
He
was
was
great.
very magnanimous.
Cruz was eagerly anticipating that too.
Oh, he saw Chris and was like, "Oh yeah, here we go."
I think Chris has actually had to do the most in-person apologies out of all.
I've had to do 4 this year. I had to do 4.
Those are a little bit harder.
So I'm very seasoned at this by now, and that's not a good thing as far as my record's concerned. When we get to who you got, I'm starting to think we ought to have a segment about who let you down, because I could go through a litany of teams who have let me down this year.
Or you're just not picking right.
This is true too. That's fair. I could say something else, but I won't.
You picked FRA last week.
I mean, they were unbeaten in number 1. So, just for that, Joe, you're going next.
Oh man, GCA, Grace Christian. You guys made me look like a fool last week. You guys had a great win. I'm a big fan of GCA as a school. I've been down there a couple times, met the people down there, great athletic director. And even with that, I still picked against the Lions. And I just want you guys to know that I am deeply and truly sorry for that.
I felt that in the cockles of my heart. Look, he went away.
I did the best I could. He froze for a little bit too. So.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
tragic.
It's all good. Okay,
they got a good screenshot of you apologizing.
Yeah, I got to address something really quick. Mr. Germ says apologies added 5 weeks ago, and Chris has 4 in person so far. That's that Smith County math. We started week 2.
But even still, you've done half the season almost.
I've done half the season, but not 80% of it.
Yeah, we've not done the apologies all year.
Well, we started week 2.
Yeah. So what's that? 8 weeks, and you've done half of them.
It's 10 now. It's 10 now.
That's that Trousdale County math.
Yeah. Still better than that Smith County math.
I'm not counting on this show.
Just like our football's better than Indiana's.
That's that Georgia math.
Center Grove, Oakland.
Hey.
We're at 5 minutes and we're already off the rails, but I guess that's par for the course, right, guys?
Yep.
I
think
see
Cam
what you're trying to do, Scott.
I think Cam.
I
should.
agree. I'm for it. He's up next.
Mine is another one that's pretty simple. A team and a coach that's really supported us throughout the years, and going up against a guy like Trip Pinion last week, I just thought that DeKalb County would struggle to slow him down, and they actually did the opposite of that. They slowed Trip down. Trip actually got hurt earlier on in the game, something you don't want to see. But the performance of Malachi Trout, man, what a game by that young man, and to lock up a playoff spot for DeKalb County, which is now 12 years in a row since 2011. DeKalb County's made the playoffs. Tough place to go play in Sparta. I apologize for not picking you guys last week. Your guys stood out and outperformed Sparta's guys, so for that I apologize.
I'd say it's his best one yet.
Decent, pretty decent.
Yeah, I almost believed it.
Well, believe this, Scott. You're up.
Hendersonville, buddy, pal of mine. Remember when, back earlier this season when I came and dropped off your Lion Award? Don't forget about me. I love you. I made a mistake. I had a moment, a senior moment. I apologize. I am so very sorry, Hendersonville. Please forgive me. Please.
I thought we were having a Blues Brothers moment right here.
Yeah, Scott's trying to go to a nursing home.
I was waiting for Terry Fisher to show up.
They've been trying to get me in there for years.
Okay, so there's 4, but Matt's correct. I think we all need a collective apology to Franklin.
Yep.
I think he was reading our mind or somebody tipped him off. So, guys, I don't care who starts, but you know what? Joe, why don't you start with this one?
Yeah, Franklin. Win of the year, maybe. Just upsetting undefeated Mount Juliet. All I can say is congratulations. You guys balled out, and just know I'm sorry.
Yeah, we said it was coming all year, but none of us were brave enough to choose you guys this week, and for that, we're sorry.
I picked you several times earlier in the year, and it just never was fruition. This was not the week that I foresaw, and wow, was I wrong? I'm sorry.
I knew it was coming. I was just waiting on this week to do it. I couldn't pull the trigger last week, and boy, you should have seen my face when the score came up. I'm happy for y'all, Donnie Webb, and that whole Franklin staff. Y'all been through a tough year, and you earned it. Congratulations. Franklin, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Only a win like that. Only a win like that deserves to clip.
His exact reaction was he immediately held up his phone, showed it to me. And he's like, "It's over."
It was, yeah. Yeah, big sigh of relief at Franklin. 22-game losing streak over, and they simultaneously end Mount Juliet's unbeaten run.
Yeah,
that was the surprise of the week, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to end a streak, do it in style. My gosh, they did.
Yep.
Williamson County flexing a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So with games Thursday and Friday night, we're going to see some brackets already done Friday morning. Let me know what are you guys looking for out of this week before we jump into all of our other Scott.
He's laughing at Joe fishing.
Yeah, I was going to say Joe with the pocket fisherman up there.
I'm trying to keep the child entertained, or else he'll.
Sorry, I'm not one for composure.
I didn't realize we had Bill Dance on this show.
He'll disconnect my headphones if I don't.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm looking forward to is really, there's a couple regions that we have that there's 4 teams vying for 3 spots. Several games, Charles County situation. If they win, they're the 3 seed, but if they lose, they're out. Playoff streak's over. And those are the type of matchups that you get in week 11 that are extremely crazy. And then you can't overlook our spotlight games. I mean, 2 region championship games. This is probably the biggest game Riverdale's played in golly, a decade or better.
No, they had a couple of years ago when they had Elijah Herring and all those guys. I think they were right there in the region. I think that game came down to the region championship.
Yeah.
But were they as close to Oakland as they are now?
Do we know if they're close to Oakland yet? They're 7-2. Oakland's 8-1, and they've only got a loss out of state. I'm not just saying. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know
50,
how
right?
we all know how I feel about Riverdale in that offense.
It's 50-0, right?
Devil's advocate.
Yeah, it'll be 50-0 if they win.
Jerk. Sorry, Joe. Yeah. I had to stand up for Cam for just a second.
Yeah.
No. I agree with you. We don't know anything until that happens. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am, but
Maybe
a game like Liberty Creek in Wayne County that has no bearing in the region actually has bearing in another region.
It does, yes. In Region 5 in Class 1A, any Eagleville fans watching, say hello to Liberty Creek, because if your game goes sideways Friday, you are rooting for the Wolves to win.
Yeah, good news for those folks down there. They have a guy named Brian Rager. That's a pretty good football player. Oh,
yeah. So here's the scenario for that particular region. Okay, if Liberty Creek defeats Wayne County, Eagleville is in 4th place. If Wayne County wins that game, Eagleville's out. If they lose, now if Eagleville wins, they're in. That's the easy part.
Yeah,
but Eagleville also plays Cornersville, which has a young man that's went for 250 4 times this year.
And I just find it odd that a non-region game at the end of the year, and granted, we've had those before TSSAA took over the schedule. It just, in this year, it just seemed a little bit odd.
Well, it's really, there's always a possibility of that because you get these 3-team tiebreakers where, they all beat one of the other 2, and then you're looking at other schedules. And this is one of the situations where this just happens to apply.
Yeah, that same situation is why Charles County would be out if they do lose to Westmoreland. Monterey would win. I believe it is actually like the 4th tiebreaker.
Well, here's that one. Okay, so if Smith County and Westmoreland win, there's a 3-way tie for 3rd. All 3 teams would have 5 total wins. Then you go to that 3-team tiebreaker because they've all beaten one of the other 2. And then that's going to go to teams you've played that have 50% or more of the winning percentage. Monterey and Westmoreland would have played 8 teams. Charleston County would have played 7. So then it comes down to Monterey and Westmoreland for 3rd place. Monterey would get 3rd on their head-to-head win. Then you go back to the beginning for 4th head-to-head. Charleston County would have lost to Westmoreland in that situation. That would be out.
Yep.
I don't even want to get into the spaghetti bowl that is Wilson County.
Well, basically, let's do that real quick because
I knew I get him to do it.
Yeah, you set me up for that.
If Gallatin, let's see if I get this right.
Gallatin, Lebanon, Winters in.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Gallatin can finish between 2nd or 4th.
No, Gallatin can go all the way out.
If they win, they have a chance.
If they win, they're in.
If they win and Cookeville wins, then Cookeville is the 2.
Yep, and Gallatin's 3, and Green Hill would be 4th.
Unless Green Hill beats Mount Juliet.
If Gallatin and Cookeville win.
Yeah, but if Green Hill beats Mount Juliet, then they're all tied, and they've all beat each other.
No, because Gallatin would have beaten Green. Both of them will have beaten Green Hill.
Right.
And that comes down to Gallatin and Cookville for second, which Cookville would win.
Yeah, head to head.
So if Green Hill, Lebanon, and Cookville win, Cookville second, Green Hill's third, Lebanon's fourth. If Wilson Central knocks off Cookville and Green Hill and Gallatin win, you'd have Gallatin as the 2, Green Hill's the 3, Lebanon's the 4. Y'all writing this down? There will be a quiz later.
Oh, crap.
I'm kidding. I'm
I've
kidding.
been out of school for a
Can I
minute.
phone-
ain't going back.
Can I phone a friend?
Maybe.
Joe? Joe?
No.
Yeah, that's a headache of a region.
Yeah. If Green Hill, Lebanon, and Wilson Central all win, you got Green Hill as the 2, Lebanon the 3, Cookville is the 4. But if Mount Juliet wins, it simplifies a lot.
Yeah.
Because basically a Lebanon win would put Lebanon second, Cookville third, Gallatin fourth.
Yep.
And then a Wilson Central win in that situation. If Gallatin and Wilson Central win and Mount Juliet wins, it's Gallatin 2, Cookville 3, Green Hill 4. I thought this was actually more complicated than this last weekend, but when the TWSWA put out their scenarios, it cleaned up a little bit. So,
Yeah,
and
he
that's,
said
and
that
that's
still hurts.
saying much.
My head still hurts.
But really, though, we usually have more complicated scenarios than that this year, but only having like 2 or 3 makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Okay. What's not complicated is who's going to win our players of the week. So why don't we talk about those for a minute? As always, they're brought to you by our fine sponsors at Miracle Auto Group. So make sure you get up to Gallatin to go see them. So 7 finalists for Player of the Week award this past week. We start with Coben Calhoun from Charleston County. 6 catches, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns. Defensively, he picked off a pass, forced and recovered a fumble, and had 3 tackles in that big 42-14 win over Clay County. Nashville Christian's Jared Curtis was 11 of 17 passing, 209 yards, 5 touchdowns as they beat Clarksville Academy 56-12. Grace Christian's Kyle Davidson, 6 of 15 passing for 124 yards, 32 carries, 162 yards, and 4 touchdowns as the Lions knocked off the ECA 30-21. East Robertson's Isaiah Groves, 17 carries, 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, and caught a touchdown pass for 15 yards. They beat White House Heritage 49-21. Page's Eric Hazard, 8 tackles, 4 for a loss, 2.5 sacks, and 13 quarterback hurries in that win over Centennial last week. Got the Cap County's Malachi Trapp, 30 carries, 234 yards, 5 touchdowns, and caught a pass for 42 yards. They beat White County 35-20. Pearl Combs Keyshawn Tarleton, this basically was in a half against White House, 9 of 11, 192 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Good
My
group.
gosh.
Good.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
was a
and I'll-
tough one.
And I'll add this in on a guy like Keyshawn Tarleton. He may not wind up making it in the Mr. Football semifinalist range. But, guys, he's played a half in most of his games this year because that team is so darn good.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about Pearl Cone for a little while longer. I got a good feeling about that.
Yep.
All right, let's see how these votes were coming out this week. I took Malachi Trapp, and listen, this is a big week for him. I mean, DeKalb County needed everything he had to knock off White County, and we talked about this earlier in the show too. And 30 carries, 234 yards, 5 touchdowns. They leaned on him, and he delivered in a big spot. So, I had to go hats off to Malachi Trapp, and he's got my vote this week. Scott, you got Coben Calhoun.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a quarterback and you throw for 262 yards, that's a pretty good day. If you're a running back and you run for 262 yards, that's a great day. If you're a wide receiver and you get 262 yards, that's insane. That's unheard of. Plus, you throw in the defensive tallies, and I mean, it was a tough week, but I just couldn't ignore that.
Joe, you got Eric Hazard.
I did ignore that. And
He's just biased against me, okay?
I can't believe you said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah,
No, I think Calhoun's stats and trap stats were pretty incredible in their games. But I looked at the fact of Eric Hazard kind of gets overlooked. Maybe we're in the position where he's in, where he's not going to put up stats like that. He did have 3 sacks against the Centennial offense that's put up a ton of points this year and really led that Page defense to a big night. And I think he was kind of the difference maker in that game. So I just thought Eric in that situation, I couldn't look past that.
Cam, we knew this was coming.
Shocker.
Oh my God.
43.7 yards per catch. 3 touchdowns, 84, 75, and 61. And most of those were after the catch. So just a great performance by Coben Calhoun, a guy that played quarterback last year until week 11, moves to running back against Watertown, goes for 200-plus yards, 3 touchdowns against Watertown in week 11 to get Charleston County in the playoffs. This year they got him playing receiver, and the kid has, he's the leading receiver on the team with over 750 yards receiving this year. Just a great year for him, and what a performance in another game that Charleston County was arguably the underdog in, and another great performance by him. And for those that are watching and have seen Cole Gregory's numbers, if he did not win it last week, he would be here this week. 500-plus yards of offense and 6 touchdowns. So just want to shout that out as well.
Yep. So 2 votes for Calhoun, 1 for Trapp, 1 for Hazard. Who did the fans pick to break the tie? Coben Calhoun. 54% of the fans going for Coben Calhoun. So congratulations to Coben Calhoun from Charleston County. The Yellow Jackets go back-to-back in our Miracle Auto Group Player of the Week award. We're sending Cam over there. I mean, might as well. Why not?
Yeah.
And he may have a little more hardware to deliver just in a second, because Line of the Week is up next. And that Charleston County offense, like he mentioned, is one of the 4 finalists, with Brentwood's defense, East Robertson's offense, and Page's defense. And we'll go over them real quick. Brentwood's defense held Independence to 84 total yards and 1 of 9 on third down. Also had 4 sacks and forced a fumble on that shutout win over Independence. East Robertson's offense has had 621 yards of total offense, 421 on the ground, 200 in the air, when they beat White House Heritage 49-21. Page's defense had 132 total yards allowed to Centennial, including -6 rushing, 13 tackles for a loss, 8 sacks, and held the Cougars to 3 of 14 on third down in that 24-12 win. And like Cam mentioned, Charleston County's offense, 545 yards of total offense, 324 through the air, 221 on the ground, that 42-14 win over Clay County. Drum roll, please. Charleston County's offense is going to snag a hat from us, because 58.1% of the fans decided it was their time. And Cam, you get to deliver a lot of goodies up there.
Yeah, Yellow Jacket fans showed out this week. Being from Charles County, friends with a lot of people from over there, and couldn't help but notice it was shared everywhere on Facebook. So we thank you guys for sharing our content, and thank you guys for voting.
Yep,
Yeah, man, just roll over to Trousdale County in your Miracle Ford, Miracle Auto Group vehicle there, Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? So speaking of those fine folks, let's hear from them.
Hi everyone, it's Jim Galvin, Miracle Ford. Great news, beginning now. When you need service, we can come to you.
I think this program is great because as a college student who doesn't have time to go anywhere or do anything, this program really helped me just to get my car worked on. I could stay in work and continue to do my job. It's convenient, it's super quick, not expensive at all, so it's a great program. I really recommend it. Just give it a check out.
Are you ready for a miracle?
I didn't ask Cam, how did Taco Tuesday work? How was that? I'm sorry I missed it.
We had a great showing. We had guesstimated like 150 people, so pretty good for the first ever Taco Tuesday event. Do plan on doing some kind of event every month going forward here, sort of like an open house thing, where we invite the community in and provide food and entertainment, and get to come meet all the great people at Miracle Ford and Miracle Chrysler. So
had to put this up here. That's on point with it. We'll just let him be.
Nice.
That's pretty
That's
good.
That's another one. Throw that one up there, Chris.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you haven't figured out by now, we did something fun this week. We put together basically our own dream teams of players for this season. We called it our All 615 team. So three, myself, Joe, and Scott, our teams are already out there on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. Our content's available on our website as well. Cam's drops tomorrow. Mr. Germs wants to know how many Charleston County players will we see on Cam's All 615 team?
One.
Let's see. We're allowed 22 players, so 24.
No, there's 20. There's 26 because you got 2 athletes and 2 specialists.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's a spoiler for you guys. There's one.
Ah,
Guess who?
The same one that should be up for Mr. Football.
well, because we have.
we will argue about that, young man.
Oh boy,
His name rhymes with Paul Schmeggery.
Yeah. 2,000 all-purpose yards, 73 tackles. I mean, what do you want to argue? I mean,
well, we can argue about that later on. We've got 20 games to pick this week, so who you got starts right now. Entering week number 11, this is how those standings stack up, and Reggie's fan club still gets bigger by the week, but he's cooled off a bit. He went 5-5 last week. Overall, a good week for everybody, though.
I think you gave us too many losses, Chris. Me and you have way too many losses.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be 35 and 36. But
I mean, I think those numbers.
I'm for it.
Right.
Hey, you want to do this at 1:30 in the morning on Friday?
Yeah, I hear you. I was looking. I was like, how in the world am I 13 games behind second?
Dang, Scott, it feels good being in the top 2.
Yeah,
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, it looks so good.
well, let him talk, right, Cam?
That's right. Hey, same thing happened last year.
Yep.
Mr. Germs got you back.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Fair play. I will admit it.
I'm
But
gonna
I also
applaud
gotta
that
say,
one.
I also got to say, do you want to do this work?
No.
Crickets. All right, on with the pick, shall we?
Why not? We haven't been on the rails all night.
No, this train was derailed at the station. I don't know what we're talking about.
Joe's
It got
fault.
tipped over. There's the recap screen from last week. We all whiffed on Green Hill and Cookville, and Reggie went 5-5. But other than that, no, not a ton of red to talk about. So let's get to some Thursday games. We'll start with Beach at Springfield, and the fans are overwhelmingly on Beach's side. Joe, right away, Reggie's on Springfield. So,
Well, he's wrong.
Yeah, I'm not nervous about this one.
No, I think Beach has just kind of been on a roll right now. So give me the Buccaneers by a couple scores.
Yeah, I think all Henry County did was tick off some Buccaneers, and I don't know if that's a good thing for everybody else in the way of that potential quarterfinal rematch.
Yeah, I think that Shelton Swafford and that offensive line is just going to be a little too much. I do think C.J. Cobbins is they will find a way to try to neutralize him. Teams have tried that all year. But,
kick it
I
out of
think
bounds.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they kick it to him, that will be malpractice, I think.
yeah, so the only real playoff implications here for Springfield, they would jump to third if they win. Beach basically has the tiebreaker over them if not. So, but I expect Beach to roll on this one too. I think Springfield's a year away from getting back to where they want to be, and a young team. It's kind of rebuilding after a lot of graduation from last year, but they're in the playoffs, so get better and learn from it. A little quick on the trigger, but Brentwood Academy and NBA is next on Thursday night, and Cam, you and I've got NBA in this one.
Yeah, it's typical defense versus offense matchup, and Brentwood Academy's offense last week did not. I mean, star power. Lipscomb's defense has a little bit more than NBA, but if you look at the numbers, NBA's defense has performed just as well as Lipscomb's this year. And I think if this game stays in the teens like I expect it to, or maybe low 20s, I like NBA's chances.
Brentwood Academy is one of those teams that has burned me several times this year. And if they're going to do it again, they're going to do it from the other side because, while the offense can get it done, they haven't been able to do it defensively this year. And I think Brooklyn Davis has a big night for NBA, and NBA handles them.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, I know NBA's defense is good, but something I just have a feeling about this one. I don't know what it is. Reggie and I agree this time around, so I feel a little more comfortable.
Scott?
Yeah. I just think that I do think it's going to be the first one to 20 wins it. I just think that Brentwood Academy will be the one that gets there.
52.6% of the fans are on Brentwood Academy, and we'll see about that one Thursday night.
I just can't imagine Brentwood Academy ending the regular season with one win.
Well, I mean, they've gotten this far with one win. I mean,
I know, but I don't know. I just have a weird feeling about this.
NBA can claim the number 3 seed in that region with a win.
Pretty good.
If Brentwood Academy does win this game, it helps Lipscomb Academy if they win theirs as well. So that's the other side of the equation in this region. Centennial and Hillsborough Hillsborough can get to third in their region with a win. Centennial needs to win and needs a little bit of help to get second in theirs.
Yeah, Centennial coming off two losses in a row, right, over Brentwood and Page. So I think this Cougar team is going to come out a little angry, and I look for Dominic Reed to put his foot forward as the leader of this team and get them on the right track, headed back into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I believe Tanner Lee may be back also to kind of balance that offense out in the backfield. So you've got 2 good backs. I do say that one person to watch for Hillsborough, who also is coming off of a 2-game losing streak, is Dwayne Washington, the nose tackle for Hillsborough. The guy's an absolute beast. Centennial is going to have to account for him. So I think that they'll end up going to the air a little bit just to kind of mitigate him.
Yeah, one thing to note on this one, if Centennial wins and Nolensville wins, Centennial will finish third.
Yep. Yeah, Page wins that game and Centennial wins. Centennial will be the number 2 in that region.
Yeah, I just think Centennial coming off a 2-game losing streak, they'll figure it out. So
yeah, it's the perfect spot for Centennial when they get one more game before the postseason to get themselves righted and recalibrated. And like Scott said, if Tanner Lee's back, that's a pretty good addition to that offense who could use a boost. 72.1% of the fans also siding with the Cougars in this one. Hillsborough is going to be on the road in the first round either way, whether they're third if they win, fourth if they lose. Grace Christian at Columbia Academy, and Grace Christian knocked off DCA to put themselves in a spot to win this region, but they got to go to Columbia Academy. And really, the Lions do win the region if they win this game, but if not, it's Columbia Academy's.
Yeah, Columbia Academy is currently on a 5-game winning streak. They're winning by combined, I think it's 224 to 86. Last 3 games have exceeded 200 yards rushing. I just think Monte Baldwin is he's just a force, and I think that Grace Christian will just have a trouble keeping him contained.
Yeah, Monte Baldwin is definitely one of the there probably 5 or 6 guys in D2 single A that are legitimate Mr. Football finalist contenders, and I think he's one of them. And I just think he'll be a little bit too much for the Lions in this one.
Points, and more points. I think Columbia Academy wins a shootout.
Can't agree more, Joe. You said it best.
I do want to say that CJ Duro for Columbia Academy, also I think he's got 7 picks on the season. So, I mean, if Davison puts to the air, he's going to have to be careful.
Well, with Columbia Academy, 62.9% of the fans going with those Bulldogs this week over Grace Christian. Hendersonville and Henry County. The fan vote was close in this one, 52.6 for Henry County, but the rest of us are going on the Patriots as well.
I'm seeing the Patriots. They're pretty good at football. It's simple as that. I think Henry County at home is a different beast, and Hendersonville got a nice win last week. Made Scott apologize. I think we all got that wrong, or most of us got that wrong.
Except
yeah.
for Cam.
Anyway, Henry County at home. I got them winning, and good luck against it to anybody who has to play them in the postseason.
Yeah, I agree. This one could get interesting, though. I think there could be a lot of points in this one. I think that Hendersonville does some things really well that gave Henry County problems against Beach, and that is throwing the ball deep down the sideline. The Jordan twins, the Cooper twins, have done a tremendous job this year for Hendersonville, and Mason Baker is one of the best quarterbacks in our area that doesn't get talked about, and he can do it both ways. And anytime that you have a quarterback with dual threat abilities like that, it's a dangerous matchup.
Yeah, Hendersonville, they've kind of been Jekyll and Hyde, and yeah, I know I had to apologize to them, and here I am picking against them again. But it seems like they've got untimely penalties or turnovers or issues in the kicking game. It's just historically. But I looked at this as that's a long trip. Go to Henry County, and that is a tough place to play. I went there last year, and I put it on the home team this time, just because it is such a heavy environment to play in.
So there's a lot to play for right here because you've got home playoff games at stake. Henry County's going to want to be that number one seed, and it's a long way to go. But I do like Hendersonville to kind of keep this thing close for a bit. But we'll see how this one turns out. I just think Henry County is a little bit better at this time of year. Before I go any further, I do want to mention the rest of that region real quick because winner of this game wins the region. So if Hendersonville and Beach win, Henry County's the 2, Beach is the 3.
Would it be Henry County though? Would it be Hendersonville if Hendersonville wins?
If Hendersonville wins, they win the region. Henry County's the 2, Beach is the 3.
Would Hendersonville and Henry County have the same overall record?
They would, and then Hendersonville would win on tiebreaker. This is if Hendersonville and Beach win.
Yeah, if Hendersonville and Beach both win, that's a 3-way tie for first, right?
It is.
Hendersonville would go to overall record.
Hendersonville and Henry County.
They would have the same record, 7-3.
Yep.
No.
Okay, then,
Henry County's only lost 1 game, buddy.
I think that's right.
Henry County's only lost to Brentwood this year.
Yep, I think that's right.
They beat Riverdale.
I think you guys are right, actually.
I was really confused there for a second.
Yeah. So if that's the case, this region is set.
You know what? Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, they're 8-1.
We're going to check that out.
Yeah, if they are 8-1, this region should be set regardless.
What we're going to do, we'll talk about Nashville Christian DCA first, and I'll check that out.
So, yeah, Jared Curtis has come back, and he's starting to put up numbers. And what a year Mitchell Carey's had for DCA, by the way. This could be another one of those games with a lot of points as Nashville Christian's secondary has struggled. Same as DCA the last couple of weeks. Defensively, they've struggled. So this could be a lot of points in this one. But ultimately, Jared Curtis is Jared Curtis, right?
I think this could be the highest scoring game of the week, personally. Just the way the defenses are playing, the quarterbacks. I think Mitchell Carey will have a bounce back game. I know he struggled last week against GCA's defense, but I don't think he'll have those issues this week. I just like Jared Curtis to get things going here.
I look for the Wildcats to go to the ground with Wesley Gobert as much as possible. But if Nashville Christian gets out in front, I think that then it becomes a track meet. And I really like the Bryson Holt, the receiver for DCA. I think that he may be the difference. But I look for special teams. Nashville Christian seems like they always have a special teams hero in big games. And I think it'll be that way in this game. Somebody's going to return a punt, block a punt, something like that. And Nashville Christian will wind up on top.
Yeah, I think Nashville Christian, this might be the chance for them to get it right before the postseason. Their defense has still got to figure it out, but really the Eagles need a game to get some confidence for the postseason. So I like Nashville Christian to go over to DCA to win it. It's a very close fan vote too, 50.5% on DCA. Now, I got to bring you guys back here because you were wrong. Here's why.
Never
It would
wrong.
be Henry County's second loss. Then Hendersonville would both be 8-2. Hendersonville would win the tiebreaker on overall record or head-to-head, and Hendersonville wins the region. If Hendersonville wins, they win the region. The winner of this game wins the region, either on a head-to-head or a three-way tiebreaker between those three would go to Hendersonville as well. So
Hendersonville's only lost to Brentwood
And Beach.
and Beach.
Yep. So we get to clear that one up and go on to the next
That's
one.
right. They beat Siegel. They beat Siegel.
They did.
Yeah, another one y'all picked against them.
I picked Hendersonville.
Sure, I picked Hendersonville.
Yeah.
Oh, was that
That's that
Was that
Trousdale County
Brooksy up
Limerick
there?
coming up.
No, I think that was Brooksy up there that did that.
It was.
What's
It
that?
was. You picked against. You
I
picked
think I
against.
did. I think I did. Yeah.
Way to rip the Band-Aid off of that one, Cam.
Getting dangerously close to me. Just
Makes you feel better. You didn't have to do that one in person.
Oh, all of a sudden, Cam goes black. Cam unplugs him like he's in the Matrix.
if it wasn't fun, we wouldn't do it, folks. White House Heritage in Fairview, another region title game. Basically, the Patriots go out to Fairview trying to, bring it back after a rough 2022 and get a region title. Fairview's trying to finish first again. Everybody on the Yellow Jackets here, 62.9% of the fans of Fairview. Guys, talk about this one for a minute.
Yeah, Fairview. I mean, after starting 0-2, they've won 6 of their last 7. They only lost to Independence. They've been in this position several times. Coach Hughes, he knows how to coach his guys up, getting ready for moments like this. So, them being at home, wearing all that highlight yellow and everything, give me the Yellow Jackets.
One of the best uniforms in the Midstate. Yeah, like you said, Joe, Fairview's yet to lose at home. So I think that I lean in that direction. But let me just stand up for Wendell Billingsley. Leads the team in rushing, receiving, has 14 TDs on the year, but he also leads the team in tackles with 96 and is tied for interceptions. The kid is absolutely a beast on the field, and I think he's the difference maker here.
Ditto. And one other thing that I think may play a factor in this, I know Fairview battled some youth issues early on with some guys, filling some holes and stuff, but that doesn't mean that there's no juniors or seniors on this team, because those juniors and seniors have been in this game. And White House Heritage, I don't think they've played for a region championship in a few years. So I like the experience factor for Fairview and playing at home. And White House Heritage, both teams have struggled with a little bit of inconsistency, but you see more on White House Heritage as far as inconsistencies than you do on Fairview.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really, I'm sorry, Chris, I just wanted something I forgot to mention. But, what a year that White House Heritage is having under first-year coach Scott Murray, coming from Clarksville Academy over there. They go from, really struggling to a chance at the region title in a year.
Yeah, White House Heritage was 1-9 last year, and now guaranteed to finish with at least 5 wins, and would host their first playoff game since 2014 with, if they could. Well, they're going to host anyway because they'll be a top 2 seed. But,
right.
Region title for them would be a big, big deal over there in White House for the Patriots. 62.9% of the fans on with Fairview. Like I said, the rest of us also with the Yellow Jackets in this one. Clay County Gordonsville starts our Friday night slate. This one was actually moved to Friday night from Thursday. All the rest of 1A is playing on Thursday night. So another region title tip between these two teams. We're all on the Tigers. And the fans 63.9% with Gordonsville, guys.
Yeah, the emergence of Jay Foster this year as a sophomore to lead that Tiger offense, I think they will, just fine enough to get it done. I do think this is probably a close game for a little while, but I like Gordonsville to win by a couple scores.
These teams
Yeah.
have played some close games the last couple of years, and yeah, I agree with Cam. I think this is going to be a big one and a low scoring, slug it out kind of game. But give me Jay Foster maybe scoring a touchdown late.
And Gordonsville's definitely been missing their wide receiver Gentry. It was a big part of their offense, but I think they've made it up with the running at Canaan Musgrove. We know him well, and I think that him running the ball is going to make the difference in this game.
Yeah, Clay County coming off that big loss to Trousdale County. I wonder how they're going to really come out early on in this game. Gordonsville needs to kind of weather that storm early, but I think they can do that, and especially at home. And Turney Ford Field is obviously a tough place to play. Anytime you go over to Gordonsville, and I think they'll make it tough enough from Clay County to take themselves a region title. Siegel and Rockville up next. Rockville's in regardless. Siegel needs a win to get the number 3 seed in this region, but we're all taking the Rockets for this one.
Siegel hasn't been the same team since Thomas Santel's injury. Simple as that. Rockville coming off a pretty emotional win last week, coming rallying late to beat Blackman. It seems like every other week you either get bad Rockville, good Rockville. We've had good Rockville the last 2 weeks, and maybe they make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, I actually think we've seen the good Rockville the last 3 out of the 4. So they definitely seem to be playing a little bit better football. So I like the Rockets to soar past the Stars.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
That was good.
Oh,
Well
that was
done.
real good.
That was-
yeah.
God,
Yeah,
that
opera
was
clap.
just-
Pause for a golf clap, man.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, Cam, that's the best thing you've ever done.
He painted a word picture. Oh,
I just saw Van Gogh's
Still
Starry
matter.
Night.
I thought it was Jackson Pollock myself, but whatever.
I didn't think Cam could blush, but by gosh.
We made that happen. Now,
No, I kept, we kept thinking that maybe this was the year that Rockville might jump up into that number 2 slot. But it wasn't quite like Joe said. It was kind of Jekyll and Hyde, right, this year. But their losses, they're not incredibly horrible. Nolensville by 1, Tullahoma by 8. But yeah, they had the bad losses to Oakland and Riverdale. But a lot of time, who doesn't? To Oakland, right? So they're a better team than I think they get a lot credit for playing in that region. And I think that Rockville, again, Joe's right. Siegel just hasn't been the same since Santel went down. I don't think that they really know what their offense. They're still trying to find their offense because, he's still, since he's been out, leads the team in passing and leads the team in rushing. Santel does, and he's no longer there.
Yeah, this region and that Mount Juliet, Gallatin, Lebanon mess of a region is going to create some really interesting first-round matchups with this region's 3 and 4 and that region's 1 and 2, in my opinion. So,
Blackman will be watching this game intently because if Siegel wins, Blackman's out and Rockville will be 4th. But if Rockville wins, Rockville's the 3 and Blackman turns out to be the 4. So the Blaze are very interested in this game, regardless of what happens in their game against Coffee County. Green Hill and Mount Juliet, battle for the Mayor's Cup over there at MJ. Got a little bit of the shine taken off of it last week as both teams lost in surprising fashion, and it gave Mount Juliet the region title. So the playoff implications are really all on Green Hill at this point. Reggie's taking the Hawks.
That was something that Green Hill really didn't need after having 2 weeks of where they've been in a bit of a slump. How about having a ticked off Mount Juliet at home? They fall inexplicably to Franklin. I mean, we knew Franklin's a good team and they were going to win one, but we just didn't think it was going to be to the undefeated Mount Juliet Bears.
yeah, but go ahead, Scott.
Well, I would just say, the Green Hills defense has given up some rushing yards here of late, and I think that plays in Mount Juliet's favor. I think Crudup and Harrison, they're going to have opportunities. It's going to open up Travers in the passing game. I just think that Mount Juliet comes out fired up.
Yeah, Joe mentioned how emotional that Mount Juliet and Lebanon game was a couple weeks ago, and I think both teams suffered from that last week. Part of the reason why I did pick Hendersonville to beat Lebanon last week, and ultimately Mount Juliet fell to a Franklin team that people are going to look and see 1-8 and think that they lost to a horrible team, but Franklin is not a horrible football team, folks.
No.
And I think it gives Coach Perry an opportunity. I mean, sure, he would have loved to finish 10-0 in the regular season, but I think it gives him a chance to get his guys refocused and eyes looking forward, ready to go into the playoffs. Although Coach Crouch also does a good job, and he's never afraid to make the gutsy calls. And with their back against the wall, there's no telling what you might see in this game.
Yeah, Mount Juliet got the emotions out last week in that loss to Franklin. I think they were still riding high after Lebanon. And then they got I wonder if they got caught looking ahead to Green Hill, because this game is this is what those kids, all these kids know each other. It's a rivalry game. This had just a wild finish 2 years ago at Mount Juliet. But yeah, I agree with what Scott said. I think the run game with Harrison Edwards and John Michael Crudup, they have a big game, and I think Mount Juliet wins by a couple touchdowns.
I feel like that Mount Juliet defense is going to come out even more focused than they did in the second half against Lebanon. And I think that the bounce back game for them is coming, and this probably is the week to do it.
Atticus might have himself a night.
We just might. Just might. All right. 10 down, 10 to go. And we're going to pause for just a moment to hear more from our Miracle Auto Group, and then we'll be right back.
Hi everyone, Jim Galvin, Miracle Ford, your Ford dealer in Gallatin, Tennessee since 1980. Great news, beginning now. When you need service, we can come to you.
Our mobile service van comes to you wherever you are. Whether you need oil change, lube, routine maintenance, warranty, filters, wiper blades, batteries, bulbs, recalls, and more.
Visit our website
or call us now.
Are you ready for a miracle?
Cam, I need to call them tomorrow. I got to get my oil changed and my tires. Got to get new tires on.
Yeah, call Colin, and he can take care of that for you.
I'm going to.
Let's.
Sorry, we're taking care of a little business here. You talk amongst yourselves.
Let's keep on going with Davidson Academy and CPA. I learned my lesson last week. I ain't picking against the Lions again. As y'all saw, my apologies. So Davidson Academy, I'm curious to see how close they can keep this. That defense is going to keep it pretty reasonable, but I just don't think CPA is playing good ball right now.
Yeah. Once CPA gets to this time of the year, they kind of start to change, and they're hitting peak CPA right now. I mean, you heard Cruz Law say, "Look, man, we played good last week. We didn't play great." And if that's terrifying, because I thought they they had a couple of mistakes, but CPA I think is the class of D2AA right now, and I think their secondary. That's the strength here, and Davidson Academy is going to need to throw the ball.
Yeah, Knox Roberts is, they're talented, and this would be a great win for them if they could get it. But I think CPA is just playing at another level right now. On all cylinders, they are really playing very, very well. And I just think it is really hard. And going into CPA to win there is just, that's a lot. That's a big ask.
Yeah. So, this is the type of matchup that, like what we said about Mount Juliet after the big win against Lebanon. This is the type of matchup. CPA won the big, huge matchup against FRA. They're going to have a letdown. They are the exact type of team that does not happen to. And part of that is because of Engel Martin. He's going to have his guys focused, although I will say I'm not for sure if this matchup is not a better matchup for Davidson than it was when they played FRA a couple weeks ago. And I say that because CPA's offense is pretty close to 50-50, whereas FRA, they slung it around a little bit against Davidson, if I recall correctly.
No.
They didn't?
No. Bobby Council and Ty Clark ran the ball really well that night. Ty had
Okay.
like 175 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Well, he has that against
But
everybody.
Council did have the long touchdown pass.
On a
Yeah.
screen. On a screen.
That might
that
be the
was-
highlight that I'm recalling. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is we talking Mr. Football coming up, right? A guy that's put up good numbers is Knox Roberts at Davidson Academy. This is the type of game that if he can have a huge game and they pull off this upset, it could make him a finalist.
Yeah, I mean, that would be correct. I mean, against this secondary, if he has a good game, yeah, he's absolutely in that conversation.
I will say, I think. Sorry, Scott. I think we did see CPA have a letdown early in the year, right? Like they beat Brentwood Academy week 1, then lost to Pearl the second week. This isn't the same team, though.
Yeah, no.
Is giving up 15 points to Pearl though really a letdown?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This defense is yeah.
This isn't a letdown spot for CPA.
Yeah.
There's still enough at stake that they can't afford to do that, and Engelmart won't let that happen because here's the thing. CPA wins the region if they win this game. Davidson Academy can win it, but they also need Hope Prep to beat FRA. They need help. So
Yeah.
Otherwise,
if you like line play on this one, I mean, they probably won't see each other a lot because both coaches will probably one coach will try to keep him away, I'm sure. But Seabrooks versus John Wayne Oliver could be really fun to watch.
I think Rawls Patterson has himself a night.
And lately, he's been having a few of those.
Yeah.
Yep.
79.4% of the fans on CPA, and the rest of us also have the Lions there as well. Independence at Summit battling for seating over there in Region 6A.
Every time that daggum cat picks the nails, Joe just looks and he goes, just looks so defeated.
And that's the case here. Reggie goes with Summit, and the rest of us are Independence. And Summit, there's going to be really one way to win this game. That's through Dominic Hollis.
Yeah, I think Independence a little more complete right now, and they got kind of embarrassed last week. Let's be real. I mean, they got shut out by Brentwood. I know Brentwood's one of the best teams in 6A right now, but I feel like they think they're better than that, especially on offense. So I think big bounce back week for Independence.
Yeah.
Well, the question is their quarterback back?
Sure.
Is Luke McNeely back? I mean, if he's not, then that offense that we saw at Beach may not be the same.
Yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, that in an option offense, the quarterback is key. So that's a big part. You look at Summit; they do, they may appear to be one of the weaker teams in their region, but this is a team that had close losses to Green Hill, Blackman, and Nolansville. I mean, with a little luck and a ball bouncing a different direction, they could be 6-3.
Yep.
So
yeah, and if I'm Smyrna, I mean, you get the loser of this one. That's not something that excites me in any way.
right.
I mean, I just think Independence has been a little bit more consistent, and especially on the defense side of the ball as well. So I think Independence wins one that, with it being Independence, it might be an overtime game.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I won't.
Joe,
be there.
you're not going to this
I
one,
won't
right?
be there. Nope.
No,
Negative.
you and I will be somewhere else that night.
Negative Ghost Rider. Yep.
Yeah. So Smyrna's going to host the loser of this game, and Antioch gets the winner of it. And whoever gets, and Summit's back in the playoffs the first time after missing the last couple of years since the Wade twins graduated in that big senior class from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Coach Coleman is building that team back up.
Yep.
Had a really young team last year, went through the growing pains, and now here they are back in the playoffs.
They aren't very much better than Coach Coleman.
75.3% of the fans are on Independence this week. We head to Clarksville for this next one. Kirkwood and West Creek. This is for the number 4 seed in Region 7 6A. Winner gets it. It's that simple. Kirkwood, we're split here. I'm taking Kirkwood. Scott is as well. Cam, Joe, and Reggie on West Creek, and the fans have got Kirkwood. So, Scott, once you start it.
Well, quite frankly, I picked Kirkwood because I had to pick one. No, I like their offense. I like Lee Buggs in that passing attack. Gavin Hunter has 35 catches on the year and 537 yards. I think that their offense is just a little more dynamic than West Creek. Their biggest problem has been turnovers this year. They've thrown 11 picks and they've fumbled like 5 times, lost them. But they have a higher offensive output than West Creek does. And I think that will be the difference is that Kirkwood will get onto the scoreboard and West Creek may struggle.
Cam, did you go back and compare the schedules between the two? Because
I did.
That's what I did. That's what led me to pick West Creek.
I did, and it's I can't remember which one it was. There was one game that Kirkwood struggled with.
I think it was Northeast,
and West Creek won by like 28.
Yeah, it was Northeast or Northwest. It was one of the two.
And
one of the conference schools.
Yeah, that type of situation, it's hard to do that. But when we get in these situations where the teams are so close, you're looking at everything you can look at without watching film because we don't have that much time, folks. But I mean, this game can go either way. I think West Creek, they've got their faults, as you said, Scott. I do think Kirkwood's probably the better offensive team. I think West Creek's the better defensive team. And ultimately, I think West Creek's been a little bit more consistent. They've lost some games, but they don't go up and down like Kirkwood has all year.
Well, Kirkwood's been on a big up last week, and a lot of big reasons behind Josiah Claybrooks. He had 33 carries, 265 yards, and 3 touchdowns last week in their win, and had 7 tackles on defense. So if Kirkwood's going to do it, it's going to go through him. Reason why I took Kirkwood. I've seen West Creek in person. It was back in week 1, yes, but they haven't really gotten a whole lot better since week 1. And I wasn't all that impressed to begin with, unfortunately. So I think Kirkwood finishes the story and would be the first team to both have a winning record and make the playoffs in its first year of eligibility.
Good story. Also, Coyotes versus Cobras is a cool name matchup.
Oh, yeah.
That's number 1 on the list for sure.
Yeah.
It's 59.8% of the fans also going with Kirkwood this week and taking the Cobras over the Coyotes in this one. Lebanon and Gallatin. This one is that's Cam. It says Green Hill, but it's actually Gallatin. So,
Cam, we got to stop meeting like this.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it.
And the rest of us are on Lebanon. So let's talk about it. I mean, Gallatin may not have the kind of Brinkley.
They still got Jackson Stroup though, don't they?
Yeah, they still got LaDainian McMurray, right?
They didn't have a heartbreaking loss 2 weeks ago that may have dismantled their season. Yeah, that's why I've got Gallatin. I think out in West Tennessee, Coach Troop's been in this position before where you need a playoff win. He's got his son playing some of the best football. I mean, this kid, he's going to be a stud the next couple of years. This could be a big week for him, and that Lebanon secondary can be tested. So give me Gallatin at home in a very high intensity, high scoring game.
Yeah, the main thing, I think this game is going to be super close. One of the things that I took into account for is special teams. And, Lebanon really fumbled the ball literally against Green Hill in a game a few weeks back in the middle of the season that helped Green Hill get the momentum to come back and win that game. And Gallatin's got a really good kicker that Key Crowell will not touch the ball. I promise you. Because Coach Stroup is smart enough to not let him touch the ball, especially on special teams. I mean, he's going to touch the ball on offense, but I just think Gallatin is in a better spot right now for this big of a game than Lebanon. From a mental standpoint, from a moment in the season standpoint, and I think the Wave Yard's going to be rocking. I mean, I was there week 1. He's got excitement back in the city, and if they're able to win this one and get a little help, they could host a playoff game. So give me Gallatin in a close one.
Chuck Gentry's been in this situation before, and the thing that I think that Chris mentioned it, a lot of this hinges on Zakai and Brinkley. If he's not there, I think Gallatin's one-dimensional. If they're one-dimensional, nobody plans like Chuck Gentry. And I think that Jack Kleinert will be able to pin his ears back and go after Gallatin. Gallatin's had problems with interceptions and turnovers in the past. And I think that if they're forced to throw and be one-dimensional, then Keith Crowell gets a pick, maybe two, and a pick six. I think that Lebanon is, with their, those Blue Devils are tough with their backs against the wall. And I think in this particular game, I think that they pull it out.
Gallatin's going to have to do something it hasn't done all year when at home. They're 0-3 at home this year, and they have not played particularly well at home. They're better on the road. For some reason, they're better on the road. And, I don't know. With Brinkley out, it just that running game doesn't have the same dynamic. And like Scott said, it's going to make them one-dimensional. And for some reason, I think Gallatin drops another one at home, but could back their way into the playoffs, though, even if they do. And the fans are kind of close in this one, too, 51.6% on Lebanon as well. Pearl Cone hosts Marshall County. Maybe we get to see a little competition for the Firebirds now.
Maybe they get to play more than a half.
One of two things is going to happen in this one, and this is a no-brainer moment here. Either Keyshawn's going to play a half, and they're going to prove why they're the number one team at 4A, or Keyshawn's going to have to play the whole game. This is a great quarterback matchup between Keyshawn and Silas Teat. Pearl Cone has so many weapons, guys. So many weapons. Could see, Zion Simpson-Smith have a huge game defensively for the Firebirds. Potentially, getting in the backfield and wreaking havoc and keeping Teat out of a clean pocket, which could be a huge thing for Pearl Cone in this matchup defensively. But ultimately, I don't think Marshall County is going to be able to slow down this offense very much. I like Pearl Cone to double them up.
Dearius Reed's missed some games this year with injuries. He came back last week, had a massive game, 3 touchdowns. I just think between him and Higgins and Javion Kennard and Zion on the defensive side, I can name all those guys for Pearl Cone. I can name one player from Marshall County. Give me the Firebirds at home.
Yeah, Teat is a tremendous talent. 25 touchdowns, no interceptions. He spreads the ball around, but this is Pearl. Now, this is a team that may have generational talent on this team. I mean, they've got depth, they've got speed, they've got strength. This is a team that is built for Chattanooga, and I honestly think that, Brunetti knows how to get the most out of his guys. Now, I think Gracian Beach, he's out.
He's out.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the issue was there. Is he out for the season?
No, he'll be back for the postseason. He had he had a shoulder injury, I believe. But I think he'll be back personally.
Yeah, and that would be good if he is. This game, I don't think it matters. Brunetti knows how to get the most out of his guys. I think that we'll see, like Joe said, Kennard and Malachi Cromwell run the ball. Yeah. And I think that, they'll try to do that. I think Pearl wins this one. I think they win it going away.
Yep.
Nobody scored more than 14 points on Pearl Cone all year. If Marshall County does, they'll be the first. And just the way that defense has played the last 8 weeks, really, it's just been unreal. And give me Pearl. And I think Marshall County can keep it close for a while, but I can't see them hanging in the second half. It's just too much Pearl for them this year.
All right.
Battle of the Woods is a region title game. Ravenwood and Brentwood fighting it out for number 1 in that region. And I want to say something before we're going with these picks. I don't know if y'all have seen on social media, but the graphics Ravenwood has put up for this game are
my God,
insane.
If we were basing this game on graphics,
it would be a no-brainer.
It's Ravenwood with the first round KO.
I mean, it's like true comic book type stuff mixed with Halloween. It is awesome. If you have a chance, go check those out because those are amazing.
But we don't base those off. We don't base our picks off that.
The older words right out of my mouth.
Carter,
if they played the game on paper.
my guy Carter over at Brentwood handles a lot of their social media. He's going to be happy to see this Reggie picking the Bruins for a few times this season.
He has asked several times about Reggie when I've gone over there for various reasons. So
Well,
he'll be happy to
I
see
think
that.
it's fair. I think what has
yeah.
Reggie got against Bruins? Does he not like Bears? He didn't pick Mount Juliet earlier. He's got something against Bears.
Well, I mean, he's
He's not embarrassed.
God, Scott, you and I are going to be at this one Friday night.
Yep.
This will be my first ever Battle of the Woods. I'm really looking forward to it. I think this could be a lot of fun. 25th overall meeting between these two, 12-12, region title on the line. Something's got to give. I think Baylor Hayes is the difference here. I think get a little more dynamic play out of the quarterback. Gavin Nelson, maybe. He's been playing out of his mind lately. And I think Brentwood wins a low-scoring game.
Yeah, you said the thing, Joe. I mean, we've
I
talked about
typically do.
You talked about quarterback. We've talked about quarterback matchups in other games, but this running back matchup in this one is a great one with Carter Pace versus Gavin Nelson. But ultimately, I think Brentwood has the better offensive line. But I do think the wild card here is Baylor Hayes. If Brentwood has to pass to win, I feel more confident in them being able to do so than Ravenwood.
Great.
So I like Brentwood to win a close one. I'll go 28-21.
I think Hayes is the difference in this game. Isaac Hayes. I think that this game is a low-scoring game. I think it is mostly on the ground, and I do believe that that Isaac Hayes' leg will be the difference maker in this game. I think that, but I do agree with you, both of you. I think this is a great ground matchup. Gavin Nelson against Carter Pace, and so maybe it's the Hayes and Hayes show.
Yeah. Well done, Scott. I would add that cat is a bad mother. But, yeah. Rest in peace, Richard Roundtree. I mean, it's hard for me to say that this thing's going to be anything but a close game, because these two teams just play close games no matter what. Baylor Hayes is an X factor here, but Gavin Nelson really for me is going to be the guy, because really you want to control this game on the ground, and he's the guy to do it with. So
Yep.
Between Nelson and Carter Pace ought to be a good one. TV game as well this week. So.
Oh, great. I mean, that's cool.
Sorry to break it to you, Joe, but yeah. You get the
wait a minute.
You get the 10-10 finish.
Oh gosh, that's right.
We got
I'm
the radio
going with
game
Joe.
though.
It's probably going to go to triple overtime. May it be midnight.
I don't care what the radio game is. I really don't care. It doesn't matter. They don't stop for radio. So 65.7% of the fans take Brentwood in this one over Ravenwood in that all-important Battle of the Woods.
Kind of shocked to see that high of a number, to be honest with you.
Mm,
Thought a little closer.
maybe a little bit. I mean, it's 2 out of 3. I mean, it ain't bad.
Thanks, Meatloaf.
There you go. Stone Memorial of Macon County. This battle for number 2 in Region 4-4A. Macon has lost one game all year. Stone Memorial coming in off a really tough loss to Upperman. 78.4% on Macon County. Reggie is taking the Panthers in this one over the Tigers. He had cats to deal with on both sides, so it didn't matter. But the rest of us have Macon County.
Yeah, Stone's actually coming in off of a loss against York, and then I don't know if you want to call that a loss or what you want to call that last week.
Beat down.
Yeah, it was bad. It was 27-0 at the end of the first quarter. Macon County, not so much as far as limping into this one. I mean, they're playing some really good football. And one of y'all may be able to attest to this. I had heard on another site's coverage that Macon County allowed like 1 yard of offense last week against Watertown.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I can confirm that if y'all want to talk for a minute.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead, Scott.
No, well, I was going to say is that Stone does have some decent players. Nick Osmond is a dual threat quarterback, 1,269 yards passing. He also leads the team in rushing, but and he loves his wide receiver. Eldridge is their leading scorer with 8 touchdowns. So that lets you know that they're they're really a passing team, which is not a good thing to be against Macon County. Macon County, with Gabe Borders back there and the rest of those guys, they're just waiting for you to throw a pick. Gabe, I would say that the odds are that Gabe gets one and takes it to the house in this game.
He either gets one of those or he takes a kick to the house. I mean, he's housed 3 kickoffs that were kicked directly to him, and then one that was Music City Miracle type play this year. But yeah, I can confirm it. Last week, Macon County allowed -1 yard to Watertown.
Yeah,
in that one, it's a 34-0 win, and then the defense has played very, very well the last 2, almost 6 games. I mean, they allowed 28 to White County, 20 to DeKalb County. Other than that, 3 points to Smith County and 3 shutouts.
Yeah, they were our line of the week for their game against Livingston, I believe.
Yeah, when it came to this game, all I had to do was look at how Macon County played Upperman and how Stone played Upperman. That's all I had to see.
Yeah, this Stone Memorial team is a good football team, though. I will say that. I don't want us just to totally hammer them. They've hit a rough patch the last couple of weeks. A team that was putting up 25-plus points in every game up until 2 weeks ago against York. They put up 7 against York. They put up 6 against Upperman. So there's definitely got to find some answers on offense. And Macon County up on the hill, up on the ridge, is not a great place to try to find those answers, but they'll try to do so Friday night.
Hey, Reggie picked them. They can't be that bad.
They are the Panthers, just so you know.
Yeah, he had a choice there. Westmoreland, Trousdale County on the creek bank. Winners in, losers out.
I picked Trousdale County because I give Cam so much crap, and I know he's a homer, and I knew he was going to pick this game this week, and I wanted to show support for my good friend Cam.
I'm kind of frustrated.
I picked this game because I didn't want to have to apologize to Cam.
No, I picked this game. I think Trousdale County is playing its best football of the year right now. They showed that last week against Clay County. I think Cole Gregory, will he be a Mr. Football finalist? Maybe, maybe not. I think he's put up numbers to say that he should be in the discussion. And I think he had a great game last week. I think Calhoun, they have this connection that's working right now. But I think this will be a low-scoring game because that Westmoreland defense is pretty dang good, guys.
Yeah, I like Trousdale because I think Trousdale is their game is starting to come together. You look at but to me their defense is pretty good. They've been playing good defense, and this Westmoreland team has not shown the ability to score of late. Trousdale County has. So for that reason, I think that that it really bodes well for the Yellow Jackets in this game.
Yeah, the coaches made a change on the offensive line 2 weeks ago before that Monterey game, and all they've done is score 28 and 42, which is 2 of their highest outputs of the season, minus 55 against Jackson. But this is the type of game that and I actually believe this game is the game at Trousdale County, or is it at Westmoreland?
It's at Trousdale County.
Okay, so if it's on the creek bank, I think that you've seen it the last couple of weeks with Cole Gregory. That dude has been on a mission. The last 2 weeks, he's accounted for 914 yards of offense and 22 tackles and 4 tackles for loss. So he's had some really good weeks, and I think Westmoreland has struggled to score at times this year. I do think Westmoreland can slow down this Trousdale County offense, but I'm not sure they can score enough to win this one. I like Trousdale County to win this one and continue the streak to 36 years in a row.
I just want the team was in better form lately. I mean, you look at both teams' efforts against Monterey. Westmoreland gave up what was then a season-high 35 points to Monterey. Monterey is now – they scored 49 against Jackson County since then. But at the time, it was the most that Monterey had scored all year. Trousdale County shut them out 28-zip. And the Yellow Jackets are in better form right now. They're playing good ball at the right time. And, I've seen enough games over the creek bank to know that the magic still exists. And Friday night might be one of those times where it comes right back to life, and it should be a good environment over there. I'm taking the Yellow Jackets there. 60.8% of the fans also on Trousdale County. Reggie's going with Westmoreland, but like the Eagles, he may be flying away too.
If a cat could fly, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, down to 2 games left, and we're going to go ahead and talk about these spotlight games real quick. Nolensville at Page is first on Thursday night. 67% on Page, 2 out of 3, and the rest of us are on the Patriots. We'll get to Reggie's pick shortly, but I want to talk about this one first, guys.
It's defense. Page's defense is arguably the best in 5A right now. I think they have enough pieces on offense to give Nolensville some fits. I saw Nolensville give Centennial a game. I think Zion Tomaska is pretty good, but I just think this Page's defense is built to shut down a team like Nolensville, and I think they just keep it going, man. Eric Hazard has himself a night. I think the Ames kid at linebacker. I know Coach Rathbone gave me some crap about not putting him on my team. If I could put linebackers at every position, I would, because I think the Midstate is absolutely loaded at that position. But yeah, give me Page by a couple touchdowns, and they clinch the region.
He's back. Ronan O'Connell is back. That line that has been performing very well just got a whole lot better. And I bet you Ethan Cunningham is loving it.
He loved it last week.
Yep. And I think that they go, that allows them to be who Coach Rathbone wants them to be. Gritty, tough, grind it out, and then, pop you when you for a long one when you're not looking. That defense, Joe, you said it. They are something else. Eric Hazard, Brendan Ains, those guys are just amazing. And I think that Rathbone's son is playing both ways. I think the game we saw him at against Hillsborough, he had a heck of a game there. So their defensive line is absolutely stout. I just think that they are just way too good in the trenches right now for anybody to take them on.
Yep. Yeah, newsflash to everyone in the west side of the 5A bracket. Page wins this one. You're going to have to go to Page, and beat them with that offensive line and that defense. Good luck.
Yep. Yep. If the region winner is going to be at home for all the way through the semifinals, as long as they keep winning. So
that Independence loss changed them, man.
Exactly. I mean,
triple overtime loss.
Yeah, triple overtime loss to Independence. Now, granted, the schedule, might not have been the toughest in the state, but they didn't slip up against anybody either. They kept out and, beat a good Centennial team last week with a strong defensive effort and
dominated a good Hillsborough team a couple weeks before.
Yep. And the thing about Page, we talk about like CPA and Oakland being built for November. Page is kind of getting that way too. Like they're built for November. And looking at some film, Eric Hazard, they're using him in offense too as a blocker. Mm-hmm. And that's not somebody you want meeting in the hole trying to go tackle someone. Nolensville, still a pretty darn good team. And I expect that this could be a rematch down the line possibly, but they got a little bit of work to do over there in Rutherville tomorrow night. And that gets us to Friday night spotlight game with Riverdale and Oakland. Battle of the Borough. It's been 12 years since Riverdale's beaten Oakland. 13 consecutive losses. None of them have been within 17 points.
Riverdale leads the overall series because they dominated for kind of a long stretch of time, but Oakland holds the longest consecutive win streak now at 12. A couple of years ago, Riverdale had a really good team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they had their issues. This year, they're kind of complete on both sides. They've got a 1-point loss to Henry County. They got a close loss on the road to Germantown. Braden Graham, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the state right now. Brock Montgomery is one of the top 3 wide receivers in the state right now. They got Jalen Thompson having a heck of a season. But Oakland's Oakland. Until you beat the King, I ain't picking against them. especially when they're at home, where Kevin Creasy does not lose, and he does not lose to region opponents. 49-0 right now against region opponents.
Am I going to have to say it? Scott and Chris, y'all know what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
I think I've said it every time.
Yeah.
Joe, you come close to saying it, but you didn't hardly get the words right. But to beat a man, you got to beat the man, and ain't nobody beat him yet. It's that simple.
Outside of PGA last year, but yeah.
And Center Grove, ain't nobody beat them in 6A.
True. Their last 6A loss was to Maryville in 2019 in the semifinals. That's incredible.
I think Riverdale comes closer this game than they have in a while. But to beat Oakland, you really have to be good running the ball. You have to be dynamic running the ball. And I think that Riverdale may be just a little bit one-dimensional. They got a great quarterback. They got great wide receivers. They know how to use them. But I think that Oakland's got good defensive backs, great linebackers. And I think that that's going to slow down the Riverdale offense just a little bit. Oakland's going to grind this out on the ground. They do what they do. And then when I say grind that out, that does not mean that Morris won't go for a 50-yarder, 60-yarder. But I think that but I just think that Oakland tries to keep this on the ground, keep the ball away from Graham, get out ahead, get their lead, and then just, go after them.
If they start off slow like they did against Ravenwood last week, though, this Riverdale offense is the one that will make them pay.
Yeah, that's it for me. I mean, obviously you got to play a clean game. You can't have turnovers. You can't have penalties that put you behind the chains. You can't have special teams miscues, but you can't fall behind either. And I mean, even 7 points is enough to send Oakland's defense after you full bore. And, Riverdale needs a good first quarter to get out to a lead so they can kind of, loosen up a little bit and do what they do best. And I do think that this Riverdale team is capable of keeping this close with Oakland. And this is a potential quarterfinal game again. But we'll see. I mean, they've got to prove it because, like I said, it was nearly 12 years ago.
I was in high school.
It was 11 years ago tomorrow night, the last time Riverdale beat Oakland.
I was a senior in high school.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, this is Oakland's opportunity to make a statement to the rest of 6A. Everybody said that and has said and continues to say that Oakland, this is the year to get Oakland. This is their down year. They're going to be back up next year, and they probably will be. But this is the type of game that Kevin Creasy just, when I say he's a different animal, he's a different animal. This dude prepares 23 hours a day, sleeps for 1, and he's going to have his guys ready to go. And beating them at home is already a tough feat. But this is a game that, with all the publicity that Riverdale's gotten this year, this is the type of game that I think Coach Creasy and that Oakland team has had circled for a few weeks and honestly probably been preparing for a few weeks.
And rightfully so, too, to get the kind of publicity that Riverdale's gotten. They've earned it. I mean, they played very, very well all year long, and they certainly deserve to be in this position. So we'll see what they can do in the spotlight Friday night. And Reggie's got to make not 1 but 2 picks this week, so let's let him do it.
And here comes Reg. Going to make his pick. He's going to take some time to think about it. And he's made his pick. He has chosen the Page Patriots. Reggie, say hello. Well, we've got to switch it up and put the treats on top because he's too much of a diva to have to pick for him. So here he goes. This is the first one. I'm waiting for him to. He has chosen, and he has chosen Reg. You got the Riverdale Warriors.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh, if that happens, oh my God.
Joe's nervous now. Joe's nervous now. I get it.
Let me tell y'all, I flipped back and forth on this game about 15 times. And I thought to myself, you know what? Oakland's Oakland. I can't pick against a team until they lose. But now, because of a freaking cat,
You can't
you're
enjoy. You're gonna.
I'm gonna be stressing Friday now. You'll see me, Scott. We'll be at Brentwood, and I'm just gonna be like, "Where's Chris's tweets? Where are they at?" We're gonna be in the first quarter. It'll be like Riverdale's up 14 to nothing.
If he wins, if he pulls that one out,
time out here. Will this be greater than the one over CPA last year? If that's the case,
they will build him a statue.
Yeah, this is the Battle of the Borough. This is a region game. If he gets this one right, oh, it's on.
Yeah, we'll let that one marinate for just a second.
Cam's just sitting there going, "Yeah, y'all are doing a lot. That ain't gonna happen." Yeah, Cam, we did all pick Oakland, okay?
Yeah,
except for the
this
cat.
is true. Let's go over the picks one more time before we get out of here tonight. Reggie's got Springfield over Beach. The rest of us run the Buccaneers. Cam and I have NBA over Brentwood Academy. Everybody else on the Eagles. We're all taking Centennial over Hillsboro. We're all taking Columbia Academy over Grace Christian. We're all taking Henry County over Hendersonville. The fans have got DCA beating Nashville Christian. Everybody else on the Eagles. We've all got Fairview over White House Heritage. Joe's got Clay County over Gordonsville. The rest of us.
Wait.
No.
I don't have Clay County over Gordonsville.
You sure about that? Because
I swear to God, I don't have it.
Your
I'm
pick
pretty
said
sure
so.
you.
Did I? Oh, well.
I believe you
That's
did.
I pulled a Cam and picked Clay County over Gordonsville, whereas
I'm gonna confirm this because you texted me your picks.
that was an error on my part if I did.
I thought we all had Gordonsville on the Gordonsville.
It said
on the graphic Gordonsville, but his text to me does say Clay County.
Oh well.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you one here.
Man, you're so nice.
I'll give you one here.
Proceeds
Since I screwed up on the graphic.
Prepares to play Hero by Foo Fighters.
Don't ever say I never gave you nothing.
God, you're such a nice guy.
That's right. Don't ever forget it.
You do realize he's ahead of us, right?
Shut up, Cam.
Cam, I believe in karma.
I'm a Notre Dame fan. Let me have something.
We won't talk about that one.
You got your religion.
Well,
we've all got Rockville over Siegel, and Reggie's taking Green Hill over Mount Julie, but the rest of us are on the Golden Bears. Page 2. Yeah, there's a page 2 this week. We've all got CPA. Reggie's got Summit over Indy. The rest of us on Independence. Cam and Joe and Reggie have West Creek. The rest of us have Kirkwood. Cam's got Gallatin. Joe's got Gallatin. The rest of us are on the Blue Devils of Lebanon. We're all on Pearl over Marshall County. Reggie likes. Did I say Independence there? What am I doing?
Yeah.
We're all taking Brentwood. That's the case. We know that. Yeah. Reggie's got Stone Memorial over Macon County. The rest of us are on the Tigers. Reggie's got Westmoreland over Charleston County. The rest of us are on the Yellow Jackets. We've all got Page over Nolansville. And Reggie's pulling one, going with Riverdale over Oakland. And the rest of us on the Patriots.
No, Matt, he did not. but he should have.
What did he say?
I don't
know. Here we go. Did Reggie just say, I'm just here so I don't get fined? He does remind me of Marshawn Lynch a little bit, doesn't he?
He's the most cat I've ever seen in my life. Like, he just does not care. He's just vibing.
Hey, Rich, what are you doing? He's over there in front of the door.
Of course
making sure that...
he's doing what he does.
Yeah. He's on patrol.
Yeah.
You make sure the possums and the raccoons stay away.
Well, that's it. That's a loaded show for a loaded week. one last word before we get out of here, guys?
Yeah, I'll start. Just because I'm annoyed. We're putting out these all 615 teams, and it's just for fun. We don't. It's not our all mid-state teams. We maybe should rephrase. I agree with Chris. We talked a little bit before this. Maybe we rephrase it, but these are for fun. Kid doesn't get included. It's not slight. We only have 13 spots on offense and defense, and we have 90 schools, guys. Sometimes some players just get left off. Also, they get left off because sometimes we don't get stats. I built my team off players I've seen or have talked to the guys about, like Javier Gaspar. I haven't seen him yet, but I know he's a nasty offensive lineman and defensive lineman. So these are all just for fun. I do appreciate all the support on Instagram. We've jumped up quite a few hundred followers since posting those. We got Cam's tomorrow. My sentiment about all this dies when it comes to Cam's team. Roast him accordingly. Yeah, thanks for all the support. We got some good graphics going forward because Chris has really been busting his butt on those. So I do want to give him out.
Yep.
Cam, I'll give you a chance to respond to that.
He's just hating because mine's the best team, but
Friday.
But no, as Joe said, huge shout out to Chris. He's our main editor. He's pretty much our only editor for the most part. Does a great job with our graphics, keeping us all in line, or at least attempting to on Wednesday nights. And really just a shout out to you guys, both Scott and Chris, starting this company 4 years ago. And I'm just glad to be a part of us growing it to what it is now. I believe this is, I don't know about the first 2 years because I wasn't a part of it, but I believe that this is the best year that we've had as far as growth goes. I believe we're headed in a really strong direction, and that is not possible without you, the fans. So we appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, and interacting with us. When we're out at games, please come up, say hello, give us ideas if you want to see anything new or anything different, and we'll definitely consider it. So just as kudos to that. And, guys, it is week 11. There's going to be teams that are making the playoffs for sure. There's going to be region championships won. There's also going to be a lot of kids play their last football of their lives. So please act accordingly. Do not act a fool out here at one of these games and embarrass yourself, because that's all you're going to do. So please act accordingly. Guys, I'm ready for some football. I mean, this is pretty much week 1 of the playoffs if you look at it in a lot of situations. So I'm super excited.
Hi. Yeah. You guys want to give some feedback on those teams? You should have seen what Reggie picked. If we're getting into our home stretch here, and it's been one heck of a season. We've had a lot of fun. Cam and Joe have just been amazing. Chris has done a marvelous job, and I get to tag along for the ride, and I love it. I'll be out at East Nashville tomorrow for the Stratford game. You get a chance, get out and go to a game. And hey, if your team doesn't make it to the playoffs, go out the next week and go see a team and support a team that you like. I think that there's a lot of good football out there left to be had, and you don't have to be. It doesn't have to be your hometown team for you to enjoy a game. So get out there and support some high school football. It used to be Friday night and Thursday night was a domain. Well, it used to be Friday nights only were the domain. But you know what? High school football is now under assault from a lot of other professional sports. Get out and support those kids. They put a lot of work into this.
I've seen Reggie's team, and apparently he has Cat Stevens, Cat Osterman, and Catwoman on it, from what I can tell. So, shout out to him for keeping it real on the brand. But hey, Friday you can vote on all 615 teams and who you think has the best one. So, shout out, by the way. Spoiler alert, it's mine. Anyway, this was a fun exercise, honestly, because they're dream teams. Really, it's basically who we want to throw out there as starters if we're starting a game. there were so many kids I could have put on this list, and we could have put on this list. But one thing that did hurt some of them was when we don't have all the information on kids, it's not good for them. I mean, it's 2023. There's absolutely zero excuse not to have stats available. There just isn't. And I know that there's a digital program that was really popular among teams called Digital Scout. It folded before the beginning of the year. But again, it's been 10 weeks, 10, 11 weeks since it's happened. We got to have a problem fixed by now. So, shout out to the teams that are making that work and making the stats available and doing the best to promote their kids, because that's where it's at and that's what they should be doing, because the positivity of just that exercise is important for this whole sport. But I digress. This is the best time of the year. And like Cam said, it's really the first round of the playoffs for a lot of teams, because with the elimination games, the region title games, it's the best time of year. It's so much dang fun. And it's going to be warm this week too. And for the last week of October, the weather's going to be great for football. Get out and watch it. And it's been a fun show and a fun regular season, and it's about to come to an end. So let's enjoy it while we still got it. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Big show, more than 100 minutes, honestly. And also, too, by the way, our scoreboard show Saturday morning will start at 8:30 because we're going to have brackets to discuss. So get up a little extra early, get some coffee in you at 8:30. Join us in these same places. We'll talk scores, we'll talk brackets, and get ready for the postseason. So for Scott, for Cam, for Joe, I'm Chris. We're out. Congratulations to all 615 team members, for just being awesome. And thanks to all of you for hanging out with us tonight. We will see you all on Saturday morning.
Go.